Hello everybody. Okay, so I am about to have a look at the piece for the first time since sanding it. So I've no idea what it's going to look like, because the last video clip that we did was me saying that I was going to let it dry and then we'll get to see what it looks like. So now we get to see what it looks like. Okay, so not too bad. I mean, it's hazy. It would appear to have some marks on it, but that's kind of what I would expect, really. So what I need to do now is use the polishing compound on it. So I need to shake this up. So this should hopefully, I feel knackered. This should hopefully really clean this up quite nicely. And this should be what gets rid of all of the haziness. Well, we can hope anyway. I mean, I haven't got any finer sandpaper to use. I mean, okay, perhaps I could. If it doesn't come up with this, then I probably would have to go back to, I don't know, maybe about 600 or 800 grit, and sand it more, and going through the motions from 600 to 5,000 again, or 3,000, which, yeah, 5,000. So yeah. Now, for the polishing part of it, two things I'm going to use. That for buffing it up, so once I've finished applying the polish, and then I can buff it up. Then we've got quite a soft, it's soft but not like, it's not like it's super soft. It's soft but not soft, but it's softer than the white one that I'd used previously. I think with the white one it was just creating a little bit too much friction, and the orbital sander was struggling with it. Also, one thing that I learned with doing the wet dry sanding yesterday, obviously I wasn't talking while I was doing it, but one of the things that I did learn was I needed to actually apply more water than I was doing. When the it felt like the orbital sander was getting a bit sort of stuck and bogged down a bit, almost like suction was taking over. It was because there wasn't enough water on the surface. At least when I applied more water, that effect didn't happen anymore. So I think that's how it went anyway. But we're going to find out now how this is going to go. But I am going to put it on fast forward until I'm happy enough to speak again, really. I've been struggling a lot doing this. I'm going to move the camera down as well just so you can see it. But yeah, I've been struggling a lot doing this. For some reason my right arm is really bad. And I'm trying to use my left arm to do stuff, but then that hurts as well. Okay, with the polishing, it's not gone too bad. It took a bit more work with the polishing compound than I was hoping for, but I was struggling to just keep hold of the orbital sander, so I'm not surprised that it was a bit awkward to do, and that's one of the reasons why I'm buffing this by hand, is because I'm struggling to hold on to the sander at the moment. Now, I'm hoping that once I've stopped doing this, that this will now not go hazy or dull. If it goes a tiny little bit dull, I probably won't mind because of putting varnish on. And I'm pretty sure I've checked already, but I will double check whether you can put clear interior varnish on resin. I'm sure you can. I'm sure I checked it. So yeah, so putting varnish on should help. Yeah, you can put varnish on, but I will double check. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give that a second or two, a few moments to. You know what? It looked absolutely perfect until I moved it to the light. What is that on there? It's polish. Motherfucker. So there's too much polish on there. Bollocks. Okay. So as soon as I moved into the light, I could see it was like it'd got. I could tell there was something on it. Maybe I will need to machine, polish it. That's what I'll do in a sec. I'll go and grab. Actually, I'm not sure if it is the polish. Please don't tell me that the resin's not smooth. It's got an odd look to it. I mean, it could just be that it is the polish and it needs to keep being buffed in. Give me a minute. yeah, it needs more. Yeah, it needs working in more. Bloody hell. Right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to keep bloody going then, aren't I? Right, bit of an update. I've buffed it quite a lot, and I mean, to be fair, as you can see on camera there, it looks quite nice. So it doesn't look too bad. But then the thing is, I'm a perfectionist, and well, I'm a perfectionist that rarely achieves perfection, and close up, I can tell that this isn't looking right yet. It's kind of like a mixture of hazy, but also looks scratched. Which, if it looks scratched, that means that the sanding hasn't done enough, or the polishing compound hasn't got through it all. But to be honest, my gut feeling is that it needs sanding more. I was really hoping that this would be that done, and I could move on to varnishing it, but I mean, it'd be so easy for me to go, well, it wouldn't be easy for me, but it would be easy to just go, fuck it, it'll be alright. But I know it's not, and I know it's not looking how it should do. And if I'm learning how to do these things, then I need to be able to accomplish what I'm trying to do, which is to have a nice, clear, shiny resin. I mean, it shouldn't have a mark on it, but that's not what I've got. Now, I've been looking at it closely. I don't think it's sort of a feature of the resin, a run in the resin, or basically a feature of the resin. I don't think that's what I'm seeing, because on the close inspection of it, the marks that I'm seeing, they do look like little hoops, which is a sign of the sander when it's sanding. So, unfortunately, even though it feels lovely and smooth, I'm not happy with it. I mean, I thought it was the polish at first, and part of it was, to be fair, which is why I continued to work on it. There was definitely some polish left on there, or polishing compound, but that doesn't explain the marks, the hoop marks. So I think the bit that I was concerned about with the polish, I was able to work through and kind of buff that up quite nicely. But yeah. So it needs more. Pug. So, I mean, I'm trying to think now. okay, I used the 80 grit to work through it, which I think was the right thing to do. What I probably would have needed to do, maybe I needed to work with the 180 and the 240 a lot more. Because I mean, by after 320, there isn't really anything that should be leaving significant marks, or at least marks that the rest of the sanding sheets couldn't get rid of. I don't know if I'm annoyed or disappointed about that. Frustrated, definitely, because I was really hoping to have it done, but yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I'll be able to show it on the camera, but it's one of those things that on the camera it does look fine, and at certain angles it looks, I mean, it does look fine, but cameras can be deceptive. It isn't right. And the thing is, the markings that are on it don't look like the markings that I had to get rid of when I started the last lot of sanding. This is different. This looks much more like sanding marks than an uneven surface. I mean, in a way, it's a shame that I've gone through the whole polishing it up to then see it, but there you go. I mean, even while I've been sort of sitting here, and I'm still sort of checking on it, whether it just needs buffing up more, but it really, it isn't that. Not that I can, no, it's not with the shape of the marks. Very annoying, very frustrating. I was going to say that doing this is getting me down. Doing this isn't getting me down. This is something I want to do. I've enjoyed doing this. The fact that I've not been successful with it yet is what's getting me down. I mean, when you think, I've hit quite a few hurdles along the way with this. Which well, I suppose with it being the first resin pour, we knew there was going to be some kind of issues, but I'm buffing while I'm talking, but yeah, so it's not that doing this is getting me down, it's the fact that I haven't succeeded with it yet. And this is the thing, it's like with the processes that I'm using, from the research that I've done, and I suppose this is where, so going to YouTube videos for research is handy, but also deceptive, because no one seems to say how long it takes, or how long you should be sanding each layer, or to what point you should be sanding. It's all very, I mean, even with my videos, I fast forward what I'm doing. So if you're watching this and thinking, bloody hell, that's taking ages, well, yeah, it is, but then think about everything I've done to it so far. Whereas you could go onto someone else's YouTube video where they're, I don't know, working with a lot more resin than I am, and it looks like they can polish it up dead quick, dead easy. I bet that's not the fucking case. But the thing is, I mean, I was thinking of something earlier. I mean, I don't know whether I fully believe it, but there was a saying that popped into my head, which was, just because something's hard doesn't mean you should stop doing it. It just means you should work out how to do it. Oh dear. But yeah, as I'm as I've buffed it up here a bit more, it does allow me to see more the marks in the resin. So yeah, I am definitely going to have to do some more sanding. Which is frustrating because obviously the resin has been sanded twice, but on the second one I went with my rule of when I think I'm done, do a bit more, because I used 2 of each sheet on it. Well, I'm not going to be sanding it today. It's too late. I'm too exhausted. My body's hurting. It has been all week. So I'm going to knock this on the head for today, regroup, and then what I will say is that I'm glad I actually came to polish this. I wasn't going to do it. That was my plan. But then I got to a point where I was like, fuck it, you know what, I'll leave it till tomorrow. I'm glad I did it today, because at least now I can plan potentially the next couple of days. I mean, one of the concerns I had was how much thickness of resin is left on there. I mean, to be fair, I've gone through quite a bit on, well, it would appear to be quite a bit on the edges, but if you actually look on the ends, there's still loads. And on that, it's only on this side where it's sort of, the wood is tipped up a bit, where the layer's a little bit thinner. I mean, to be fair, looking at it from this way, it looks fine, it looks good. But then, like I say, it's when you actually get into looking at the details, see if I can show it all. Yeah, so sort of here you're now starting to see, it may look like the light, but it's like a haziness that you can see, but it's markings in the resin. So like on the O here, yes, the light is allowing you to see it, but it's not the light that you're seeing. Right, I'm going to bugger off. See you in a bit.